If you have a average discussion with, well, anyone in the UK really at the moment, they will tell you, or at least much of their underlying problems is they really want a change. They can tell the UK as it is and as it has been under the Conservatives for the past 13 years just simply has not worked. And time again, when you look at all the focus groups that the Conservatives, the Lib Dems, Labour, all running, there's one key theme that continues to come up, and that is the idea that Britain is broken. So people are desperate for a change. And this was what, and we'll always say this was part of the thing that drove Brexit. The Leave campaign drove Brexit as this will bring change. This will make your lives better. All those left behind areas, well, guess what? Now the government's going to have to pay attention to you. Well, guess what? We've had that full Brexiteer government. They did not even pay attention to these left behind areas. So it is no surprise at all, that recently, out of a survey asking what's most important to you, and of course, 1 in 10 Brits said, I want to know my politicians are able to tell the truth. And this came higher. This came higher than immigration. Now, why on earth are the Conservatives panicking so much about immigration when you've got Rishi Sunak, who came out on those steps and said, I'm going to retrust, honor and faith in politics? Why isn't he caring about that and bringing that change? But instead, he's worried about immigration, small boats, which, to be honest, as we've said before, two things he would have to change: safe routes, fund the system, and hey, France even offered at one point, well, not France, but the EU offered, hey, do you want to be able to process asylum seekers here in France? As that they offered that as a solution to our small boats problem. But of course, they didn't do it. They didn't take it up. Why? Oh, well, it looks soft. And oh my God, it's working with the EU. And of course, well, we can't do that. So before we get more into talking about something that has come up recently and something that could be a potential solution, please do remember to click the like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page and the one foundation link called Buy Me Coffee, Waking Well, Buy Me Coffee. And of course, as always, thank you very much to all those people who do help and support the channel that way. So what are we talking about today? Well, one of the big problems that a lot of people really do see in politics, and this has increased all the time, is the problem with big money in politics. Now, Labour did actually solve some of this back in 2000 when they brought in their own, the Election Act, which created the Independent Electoral Commission. We've seen sort of caps, more transparency on who can sort of give money and where does this money come from. That's still not perfect. There's still a lot of dark money from these think tanks that where are they getting all their money from? So there's still room for improvement. And one of the things that we are seeing, and I do hope that Labour will continue on this because they do seem to go on, this is what they've indicated they're going to do, is they're going to get rid of second jobs for MPs. That will be good. That will go a long, long way into restoring trust, really strengthening the MP Code of Conduct by the looks of it as well. That will certainly help quite in a big, significant way. So those are two big areas of concern we have seen come up in recent times. That's good. And that is true with big money coming to politics. A lot of MPs will talk about when they become an MP, they all suddenly get all these gifts and etc. that they sort of receive, and yeah, that is a problem that we do have, because we don't want our politicians to be too influenced by not only just big businesses but big moneyed interests, and it is always going to be a problem, no matter I think how tight and regulated you make the system, still going to be a problem. Now, one of the things that is supposedly coming in, at least we've heard bits of, is to put a cap on donations. Now, the cap on donations that has been put forward before by various people is you put it at £10,000. Now, that is still, to be honest, very, very much out of the reach of your average Brit. That is still very, very much, people with big money. Well, 10 grand, sure, there you go. It should be, I think, brought down a lot more. Belgium has it at 500. Just 500 euros. That's the maximum you can give to a political party. So that will be good to see it brought down even more. However, here's the solution. Now, of course, not going to be, a full perfect solution. There will probably be things that you need to iron out and sort out. But democracy vouchers, as they are called in Seattle. So what are these democracy vouchers? Well, to put it simply, according to, so here we are. So what are these? Well, back in 2017, Seattle adopted the world's first democracy voucher scheme, and this came in for municipal elections. Every resident was given 4 $25 vouchers each election cycle, which they can donate to the candidate of their choice, while candidates must agree to limit other private donations in return. This scheme has led more people to contributing to political parties using their vouchers, and especially from underrepresented groups, and it has made more competitive elections. That would not be a bad idea to try here in the UK. Now, obviously, that is done very small local scale for in America, and I think you could do something very similar in local elections. Start at local elections, see how that works out first, and then you could upscale it. There is no reason why you could not upscale that. And I think that if you, again, cap political donations, so you can't accept, only this, you can only accept donations from individuals, so corporations, like, you can't donate at all. I think that's fair. Maybe groups is a bit of an interesting one, because I do like the fact that you can have groups and pressure groups say, we want to donate to a party because that is the cause we believe in. I think that should be fine, but this is the but. So this is where you would still get think tanks. So yeah, you would still have, the Institute of Economic Affairs, but here's the key. They have to be 100% transparent where all that money comes in. If they get a penny donated to them, they have to say, this is who gave it. This is where they are from. Like, they have to be bang, 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 100% transparent. And if you find out that they haven't been transparent, then the party has to give back every single pound they have received in that, maybe that parliament, maybe that, maybe that election cycle. Again, I would be fine with that, because I want sort of these groups to be a part of, democracies. They are playing quite an important part, and I think them being able to donate to political parties should be important. Again, I disagree heavily with the Institute of Economic Affairs, but if people want to give money to the IEA and to promote that political free market fundamentalism, crack on. The only thing is, we want to know exactly where every single penny you get comes from. And if you don't, if you are not open, then not only can you not give any money to political parties, you cannot be involved in any elections whatsoever until you are 100% open with that transparency. The other thing is, would obviously give more rules to the election watchdogs, give them more teeth to sort of clamp down and sort of punish, things like that. there's a lot of stuff we can do. And I think the democracy vouchers is an interesting idea. It's a very interesting idea. Could it work at a national level? Local levels, though, definitely. Regional levels, where we see here in South Yorkshire, we've got obviously the Sheffield City region, and you sort of run for mayor on that. That would be something that you could do. Bring that in for that. So it is possible. It is absolutely 100% possible to do, and it would be pretty interesting. So there are ideas out there and ways to solve this. And I think that the more we see this appetite for change in the UK, the more I think we want to see these ideas discussed and brought forward to how they could potentially work in our democracy. So it's not just, changing the voting system. There's a lot of other conversations that also have to go on in the background, like how do you fund your democratic parties? How do you, get them to sort of, fund elections and things like that. So there are a lot more than just changing the voting system. But again, don't get me wrong, I do want to change the voting system, absolutely. But there's other conversations we have to have sort of in parallel at that same time. And I think funding and this idea of democracy vouchers could be pretty good. But like I say, we'll see. Let me know what you think down below. And do you live in Seattle with this democracy vouchers? I'd be very interested to know what your experience is of these democracy vouchers and have you used them and what you think to them. So, like I say, please do let me know in the comments down below. And of course, as always, please do leave a, comment down below, like and share, of course, on your way out. And of course, we'll see you all next time.